Hi, everybody. Welcome to Happy Hour live on Bruce Sports. We hope your Monday is going well for you so far. Our final bit of programming that we have for you today on the Bruce Sports Network. It's snowing here in Milwaukee, so you can imagine that we are all just a little frigid, and I'm definitely dreaming of the time of when I lived in Florida, so I certainly would rather be on a beach today than stuck inside a building covered in snow, but that is just the way the world works sometimes. All right, either way, though, we are still going to make the very best of the situation, of course, as we always do. I am joined by Teaka Griesbach. Teaka, great to see you. How was your Monday going so far for you?
Great. Good for a Monday.
Good for a
How
Monday.
about yours?
Not too bad, actually, and we were just talking about this off the air. We're like, pretty good Monday so far. I mean,
doesn't feel like a Monday.
So many
really.
people are always like, "Oh, it's Monday." You know, Tanner and I have a segment on halftime called Moody Monday.
Yeah.
And we're just like, whatever. But today I'm like, it's a good day so far.
It is, especially with the snow and everything. Usually
I
that
know.
puts a damper on the day, but
Exactly.
it's pretty good.
I'm not going to complain, honestly, too much about it. I'm having a great day. You seem to be having a great day. I mean, it's a good day had by all. Really, and truly, it is. Honestly, I'm very happy about that. I can't be too mad overall about it. And
Can't complain.
excited to see what the world has in store for us today. We've got a great show for you. We're going to be joined coming up in our second segment by Christian Heimel to talk about the NCAA March Madness Tournament. I know that everybody is beside themselves with excitement. Teaka's already filled out her bracket. I've already filled out my bracket. If you haven't already filled out your bracket, you can actually be a part of what Bruce Sports is doing. We have a bracket challenge. If you look in the comments section below here, we will actually be posting it as soon as we get off the air, so you can go in there and sign up today for free. First place wins $100. Second and third place get Bruce Sports T-shirts, which Teaka and I both have as well too, and I think they're pretty awesome. Honestly,
I love it.
Pretty cozy. So if I finish in second or third, I'll probably donate my T-shirt because I want the $100. Obviously. Gotta go shopping, all that fun business.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta buy more wine, really, is what it comes down to. I have an addiction, but I know it's under control, okay? Priorities, Teaka,
I
of
miss
course.
my wine.
I know you do.
Already.
Yeah, have you been,
Well, has it
how
been
have
like
you
a
survived so far? I think we're about 13 days into Lent so far. You gave up wine. I gave up extras.
Yeah, it's going pretty good. Substituting with beer. And
Substituting with beer.
I'm growing to like beer more,
Of
so
course.
it's okay.
But it's not as classy,
But
though. Do you drink your beer in a wine glass just to,
no,
pretend?
but I should. There's an idea. Like tonight,
You're welcome.
for The Bachelor.
Exactly.
I like my wine for my shows, and I can't have it, so it's hard.
Like, I want to be classy,
It's
dang
difficult.
it. How can I be a classy lady with no wine?
Yeah, it's hard.
I understand. You should drink more like margaritas or more just mimosas.
Those are more difficult to make, but yeah, I love
I suppose.
them.
Just
But,
go more the
more
mixed drink
effort.
route. You can still be a classy gal with
very true.
mixed drinks,
How's
or
your-
martini. Maybe martinis, I
Ooh,
guess.
yeah.
You seem like a martini gal.
I like martinis. Yeah.
Makes sense.
How are you doing with your no extras?
Pretty good actually. My wife and I, what did we caved once so far, but we got Starbucks the other day. I know, and I feel
did
bad.
too, but I didn't give it up.
Well, yeah, it's a little different for you because you're like, well, yeah, clearly you
I'm gonna
can
rub it in your face every time
Thank
I get
you.
it now.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I got Starbucks once actually, just because my wife and I were just having kind of just an morning, and she was like, you know what we need to make our day better? I was like, I was waiting for something, like, oh, well, we've got this at home or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, we need Starbucks. I was like, yes, we do. I was like, let's go. And it was very well worth it, honestly.
That's good. If it made your day better.
It did.
That's
It really did. I have no regrets about it, honestly. Anytime I get a chance to have Starbucks, I love my white chocolate mocha. Do you have a favorite Starbucks drink?
I like the caramel brulee. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, my wife's a big
around
caramel
Christmas
brulee
time.
fan as well, too.
Yeah, those are good.
That's a seasonal drink, though,
I
so I feel
guess.
like it's not you don't get to partake in that as often as some might like, though.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
But it makes it more special when
It's
the time
true.
comes around.
You're right.
And I get really excited for it.
You're like, oh my gosh, caramel
Yeah.
brulee latte.
Otherwise, I just get black coffee.
Oh, really? A black coffee gal. Good to know. I had no idea.
Or sometimes I'll get chai.
Oh,
Now that I think
I'm
about
not a
it.
chai person. Never been.
My
Never-
mom loves chai. I feel like that's kind of why I'm a chai girl sometimes.
I get that. It's genetic, I guess. It's really what it comes down to. Well, we've got some good stuff to get to today. First of all, to start off the show with our What's on Tap segment, where we talk about some of the latest and greatest things taking place in the sports world. You may or may not have noticed by this point as well, too, that we have this brand new little ticker running on the lower part of the screen as well, too, talking about some of the latest and greatest headlines as well, too. Trying some fun things out here on Bruce Sports, so give us some feedback about that as well, too, if you like the little ticker that's cruising right around this general vicinity. All right, so a cool story out of the NFL. Sometimes the NFL can be a little nasty, as you and I know, of course. But Deshaun Jackson, newly signed a member of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is giving back to charity, which sometimes you hear professional athletes do such a thing, giving back to charity, which is great. However, he had to earn his number, which is kind of funny because he's a league veteran. Usually those guys get to pick whatever number they want, no matter what team they're on, basically. But especially signing a $35 million deal, I feel like, you can do virtually whatever you want signing for that kind of money.
Right.
But he had to earn his number, Teaka, and it's kind of a cool reason of what he had to do to earn his number.
Yeah, he had to donate to charity.
That's pretty cool.
Area. Yeah, I think that's awesome. But I wonder, was he doing it just because he wanted the number, or was he doing it because he really wanted to?
That's
he has
a
to do it
valid
under
point.
one stipulation, which is great. I'm glad that, he made him do that, but you gotta want to do that too, You can't just be like, oh, I'm donating to charity, and everyone be like, oh, good for you, like you're such a great person. But did he really want to do it, or he was just doing it because he had to, because he was required to?
You make a very good point.
I think it's great. I'm all for it.
Of course, anytime you give to charity, I think no matter what the circumstances are, I think it's always welcomed, because charities aren't going to be like, what? Oh, you just want a jersey number? No, we don't want your money.
Right.
Charities usually will say yes, usually no matter what, as long as, the money wasn't funneled illegally or stolen, etc., like that. But if you didn't hear, Adam Humphries was a 2-year receiver on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, already had the number 11 before Deshaun Jackson got there, and he said, yeah, I'll be more than happy to give you your traditional number 11 that he's had through all of his entire career, as you said, if you donate to a charity in the Tampa Bay area. And Humphries actually did the same for his hometown in Spartanburg, South Carolina. So both guys ponied up and said, look, we'll both give to charity so that we both get what we want, but then we also give back to the communities around us as well, too.
Yeah, I love that.
I think it's a great
story.
It's a great story, honestly.
Yeah.
I think that more of that is needed, honestly.
I agree. Definitely.
You're a big fashion gal, I'm
Yeah.
assuming, right? Do you have any favorite brands or places you love to shop to keep yourself looking good?
I feel like it, just depends. Sometimes I'll go to a store and find a bunch of stuff, and then they'll have, next time I'll go and I'll be like, I can't really find anything. So I'm trying to think of like one store I shop at all the time, but
No, don't have any like hot ones. Be like, I gotta go here because the deals are the best, kind of thing.
I like the Loft a lot.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know about the deals, but like I
Sure.
like their clothes.
I like the clothes at least.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Do you know who you're wearing today? I feel like this is at the Oscars. Like, what are you wearing?
I'm wearing Express.
Wearing
I suppose
Express.
I shop there a lot. Yeah.
There you go.
They have
It's convenient.
reasonable.
Good
Yeah.
prices overall.
Yeah.
Well, as many folks know, the way of the future supposedly is in subscription services, whether it's getting wine. I was a part of Club Wine for a long time, or getting food shipped to you, or mattresses, or shoes. And obviously clothes are still a very big thing as well too, that so many people love to get. And one big thing that an NBA player is doing is Chris Paul, and he has a men's fashion subscription service.
Yeah.
Now, apparently, I missed the party on Friday. If you didn't hear, we did not have a show on Friday, unfortunately. We tried, but technology had other plans. But
Yes.
you guys had a whole thing geared up, basically. It was going to be you, Mitch Vomhoff, and Tanner Burke. And apparently, Mitch had some insight into what exactly you were going to talk about.
Yeah, I was really excited to talk about this. I thought this was really fun and cool, and I obviously am into fashion. I'm a girl. Most women are.
Stereotype, but yes, I understand.
So I was talking to them, and I was like, you guys look pretty fashionable. Like, I feel like you guys would be into this maybe, yeah?
Sure.
And so we were kind of talking about it, and Mitch goes, well, I actually have the 4-5 Club on right now. And I was like, what are the odds? It was so funny because he had no idea I was talking about this either. He had no idea. And so I started talking, and he was like, well, yeah, I'm pretty fashionable. I'm actually wearing it right now.
Check me right now, actually. Mitch has got some pretty good fashion overall, but yeah.
And I had never heard of this before. Like, I had never
haven't
heard
either.
of this brand.
Well, I hadn't heard of the Tom Brady thing, the purple carrot or whatever thing that he's doing. I hadn't heard of that either until I think it was you that pointed it out. And I'm like, purple what? Like, I was told don't eat things that don't look like the color they're supposed to, but it's another one of these things where it's for both men and women, which I think is very nice. Well, I'm sorry, it's just for men, but there are other services like this, like the Trunk Club, Sneaker Tub, Latoche, Birchbox, et cetera, et cetera. So we're starting to see this transition of more style driven things. I think it's kind of cool. People would like to dress, people would buy the Air Jordan sneakers to feel like Michael Jordan, and people would wear whatever Under Armour when it first came out, just because it was the new latest and greatest thing.
And this just makes shopping way easier.
It does.
You know, I feel like a lot of men that I know, at least, don't like going out and spending a whole day shopping.
Yes.
You know, I feel like most.
Is your boyfriend like that as well too?
He hates shopping. Yeah.
Not a big shopper.
Only if we have to go to get something, like we'll go get that, and we won't just
like I'm just here for a pair of pants.
Yep. Once we get those, we're done. Yeah.
But then you're just like, but I think you would like. Do you ever play like the girlfriend card? Like, but I think you'd really look good in this. Like,
no, I feel like I do that more so when I shop by myself. I'll look for him. But
okay.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah, my wife is very subtle about that. She's like, honey, I think you'd look really good in that. And basically, I'm like, I'll go try it. Sounds good.
Oh, you're so nice.
I got you. I try to be nice if I can in that situation.
Yeah.
The
4-5 Club has urban swag to classic button-downs, edgy leathers, it said.
Edgy leathers.
Yeah.
What is exactly an edgy leather for those of us that don't know?
But honestly, I was kind of curious myself. I never looked it up, but
I don't know if I want to Google edgy leather.
I know.
Honestly. It sounds more
like pants, like leather pants. That's immediately what I think of.
I don't think I want to wear leather pants.
I know.
I don't want to wear leather anything.
I know.
I would wear leather shoes. I mean, obviously, whatever, fine, exquisite leather shoes, but I've seen people with leather vests and pants, and I'm like, did you think about that before you put it on?
I mean, I've definitely seen it before, but I don't think it's very different. I don't know. I'm curious to know what that is. But he has a summer, fall,
Somebody
and winter
Google
collection.
edgy leather and tell us what that means.
Know.
We'd love to hear about it in the comment section below. The final thing is a little surprising, actually. The World Baseball Classic is going on right now, of course, along with spring training. And one of the big things that's been going on has been security issues. We talk about different, big stories, of course, all the time on the show. And we talked about this earlier during the day as well, too, on the Morning Brew with myself and Jamie. And apparently, fans are heckling and sometimes almost attacking players' families while they're just sitting in the stands watching the game, minding their own business. And some of the players, Yadier Molina, among others, continues to get very angry about the lack of security, basically, because he's like, why are our families not protected? And, we spend all this money to come do these different things, and apparently it's just a shame that you're making so much money, and the money that you're making, Major League Baseball and the World Baseball Classic can't use that money to then also protect families. It's a strange occurrence, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, and I feel like if this is my case as well too, if I was playing a sport and I found out that my family was being heckled in the stands and getting almost attacked at times too, I'd be furious as well too. I mean, but so many times you hear though that about put them in a suite or put them in in the box or whatever.
Yeah.
But families choosing to sit in the stands, I guess, to an extent, they're almost asking for that, though, aren't they?
Yeah, that's true. They're kind of out there in the open for that to happen. But then again, I mean, I don't know. I think they should feel safe. They're just coming to watch. I mean, their family, They're coming to watch, and they want to be there. They don't want to stay at home just because they feel, they're going to be, I don't know. I feel like they should be able to go be there in person and feel safe.
Exactly. And I think that, and I almost kind of question the morals of some people in that regards as well, too, because if I see whoever, if I see Olivia Munn sitting in the stands, Aaron Rodgers' girlfriend, I'm probably not going to go up to her and start heckling her about her husband.
Right.
I, at least as my personal self, feel like I have enough morals to be like, okay, I'm not going to be that guy. Like, I could hate Aaron Rodgers, I could hate Olivia Munn, but I'm not usually that kind of person to just go confront somebody, especially that's a celebrity or somebody that is clearly doing much better in life than I am at that point as well, too. Like, what good does it do to go heckle a wife or a son or a sibling of somebody famous when really it's not going to do any good except get the people fired up and get you in trouble, basically.
Exactly, yeah. And this happened, I think a couple days ago I saw, too, Paris Saint-Germain fans were heckling the players after they lost to Barcelona. I saw that a couple days ago, too, and it's a similar situation.
It's a little surprising, honestly. I get it. People get so wrapped up in sports, and people are so thrilled about what is taking place, and they're so disgusted at times to be like, "Oh my gosh, we put all this time and effort in, and we lost the game." I get it. We could go on a whole tangent about fans and overreacting and being like, my team, sportsmanship, exactly, is just a little crazy, little crazy. Well, one thing that is crazy, Teaka, that we love is NCAA March Madness. And there's a gentleman that knows all about the wonderfulness that is March Madness. And his name is Christian Heimel, and he joins us now to talk about the craziness of March. Christian, how are we doing today, sir? Christian, I can't hear you. You might want to unmute yourself.
Sorry about that, guys.
There we go. All right.
We're gonna. You know what? I haven't had my white chocolate mocha yet.
See,
that's the biggest
there
issue.
you go.
And to be honest, this is like Christmas Eve for me. I'm too excited to go to sleep, but I know that once I sleep, when I wake up tomorrow, it's the NCAA tournament. So it's one of the exciting things. That being said, Teaka, I gotta ask, Vanessa or Raven tonight?
Oh.
Ooh, calling you out right off the bat.
Oh, man. Okay.
I'm Team Raven. I am Team Raven all the way.
I really like Raven, but I think Vanessa's going to win. I have to say. I do. I think there's something deeper there.
I don't know. I'm really looking forward to tonight, honestly. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I've been watching The Bachelor since season 1. Absolutely
Really?
love it.
Good for you.
Love it. Absolutely love
Wow.
it. It's my guilty pleasure. I hate reality TV, but I love this show. I don't know why.
Very
I want to be
surprised.
Chris Harrison. I want to be him.
Well, I don't think we have anything else to talk about today,
Yeah,
Christian.
thanks for coming.
Thanks for your time. We'll talk to you soon.
Pick Kansas.
There you go. Pick Kansas. All right. Thanks, Christian. We appreciate it. But so obviously, I mean, March Madness, of course, continuing to wow people every single year. I feel like no matter what, it's kind of like the Super Bowl. It's kind of like just the greatest things that happen in the sports, but people always are just excited about it, even though they know that there's heartbreak, there's excitement, all the feels, as people like to say, of course. But we always talk about the big teams. We always talk about the UNCs, the Dukes, the Kansas, as you mentioned. But people always love the sleepers. People love the good sleepers, the upsets. People live for the 5-12s and all that other craziness. But do you have any sleepers for us that fans, as they're getting ready to fill out their brackets, can keep an eye on?
Everybody wants to pick a sleeper, but when you look at it, this is going to be the 79th NCAA tournament. And in the previous 78 years, I think it's at least half of them are divvied up between 7 schools. UConn, Kansas, UNC, Duke, Louisville, UCLA, and then Kansas. And those 7 have won 38 of the 78. So, I mean, there's really, as much as we want sleepers, you can't really expect them. That being said, if you want to pick one, it's hard to call them a sleeper because I don't consider it, and they got severely underseeded this year. Wichita State, if you're going to pick them, if you want to pick a sleeper as the 10 seed, them, maybe a VCU. If you're looking for a double-digit seed, I don't see any seeds lower than 10 that can really become Cinderella this year. There are a lot they're going to try, and there are a lot that I think people are going to want to root for. But I mean, it's tough to do that when you look up and down the bracket. I don't see many upsets at all. The biggest one I see, at least that I have in my bracket in the first round, is URI over Creighton in that 11-6 matchup. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest upset that I have. I know a 14 has won each of the last 4 years, but I'm looking at those 14-3 matchups, and I don't. Maybe Iona over Oregon only because Chris Boucher is out for the year. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, we are here in Wisconsin. Badgers have gone to the Final Four the past 2 years, but this year's been kind of strange for the Big Ten as a whole. Do you think any of the Big Ten schools will advance to the Sweet 16?
From a Sweet 16 standpoint, no, I don't. I mean, well, actually, you know what? It's kind of hard to see. I mean, I love the one team that I think has the best chance, and this is going to probably upset a lot of folks in Wisconsin. They're led by, in my opinion, the National Coach of the Year. Anytime your last name is Patino, you got a chance.
True.
I like Minnesota. I do. I have them in the Sweet 16. I have them losing to North Carolina then, but I do like what Minnesota has done. I think Michigan is a tremendous, tremendous story when you think about what happened right before the Big Ten tournament in the plane crash, winning their first game in practice jerseys, and then going on and winning the rest of the way out. But they don't have a player. They remind me a lot of UConn a few years ago with Kemba Walker, but they don't have a Kemba Walker type player that can lead them all the way through to a national championship. So as much as I like Michigan, and their seeding is very difficult. I mean, if they get past Oklahoma State, then they got Louisville the very next round. And then if they get past Louisville, they probably got Oregon. And then if they get past Oregon, they probably got Kansas, which is in a lot of people's minds and in my mind, the best team in the country right now. So Michigan or Minnesota are probably going to do the best out of the Big Ten, although I like Minnesota going just a little bit further than the Wolverines.
Well, going back to Oregon, do you think Oregon will make it to the Final Four without Chris Boucher?
No, plain and simple. When you're talking about your best inside presence,
Yeah.
a lot of people take for granted. Great guard play is a term you hear a lot now at this time of year. And yes, you got guys like Lonzo Ball and Markelle Fultz, and all these. I mean, Nigel Hayes is even one who's a tremendous guard that I just love watching. But Josh Hart, Chris Jenkins at Villanova, all those guys, Malik Monk at Kentucky. But what you really need this time of year, and what always ends up winning out, are those bigs. It's the interior presence. Can you rebound? Can you protect the rim? Can you get those easy buckets late against all the big bodies down low? And without a guy like Chris Boucher, who was one of the best rebounders for that Oregon Ducks squad, I don't see them being able to advance that far, especially when they are, in my opinion, going to go against Louisville in the Sweet 16. And they've got two very talented bigs in Anas Muhammad and Deng Adel. I mean, they've got some and not to mention Mango Mathiang as well for Rick Pitino down there in the Cardinals. So it's going to be tough for them to get past, into the Sweet 16 to start, but it's going to be even tougher for them to get past that. So I don't see Oregon getting a Final Four, but I don't see them going past the Sweet 16 though.
Did you say that there was a guy named Mango? Did I hear that?
There's a guy named Mango Mathiang. I think he is a senior, if I remember correctly, at Louisville. He's a talented guy. He's a big body. He can even step out. Listen, I got to see him his freshman year. I thought he was which was the year that Louisville went on to win the national championship, their last one in 2012. And he's a talented kid. He's a redshirt senior, so he's fun to watch.
So let me ask you, who are your Final Four teams?
My Final Four, I have coming out of the South region, UCLA, after they beat Kentucky in what is going to be probably the best game not on April 3rd in that Sweet 16. UCLA, Kentucky is going to be a lot of fun, but I think ultimately Lonzo Ball and Bryce Alford are a little bit too much out of the South. Out of the West, I have Florida State advancing.
Wow.
I actually have an all-ACC battle in two different regions in the Elite Eight. I have FSU over Notre Dame in that one, and then in the East Regional at Madison Square Garden, this is going to be fun to watch. Duke against the reigning national champion Villanova. I do have the Wildcats advancing. I can't, in good faith and conscience, having a high school diploma from an area of Baltimore, Maryland, I can't put Duke into the Final Four. I just can't do it. And then my last Final Four team is my eventual national champion, the Kansas Jayhawks. I think they are the best team in going into the tournament, even though I know Villanova has played tremendously and they've only got 3 losses. But the only reason Kansas lost that game to TCU and didn't win the Big 12 tournament is because they suspended arguably their best player in Josh Jackson. So having him back makes it a little bit different. It's going to be a different ride for the Jayhawks here going into the tournament now with him back.
Talking with Christian Heimel here on Happy Hour on Brew Sports. Christian, last thing from me. Of course, everybody is in the process of finalizing their brackets. They're doing this weird gypsy voodoo magic, going to pulling the tarot cards to figure out, the upsets. What advice do you have for people like myself that just really don't understand the craziness of March Madness? Any tips for little old me or anybody else as I get ready to make my selections?
Don't bet on Cinderella. Don't do it. I mean, it's as so many people want to, because then they look right, but you're trying too hard. I mean, whether it was VCU, 6 years ago, heading to the Final Four, whether it was George Mason over a decade ago, Butler making it all the way to the national championship. Don't try to find Cinderella. As much as a lot of basketball fans don't want to see it, it's chalk most of the way for a lot of these folks. So go with the gut. Listen, as much as we bash the selection committee, and in my opinion, they got a lot of things wrong with this bracket, but they're there for a reason. They seed these things for a reason, and they do have some of the best teams seated up at the top. So don't expect an 8 or a 9 or a 13 to make their way into the Final Four. Just when it gets down to crunch time, look at the records, look at the conferences that they play in, and a Big 12 team is probably going to beat a CAA team at any given moment.
Usually.
That NEC team is not going and upsetting an ACC opponent. So it's just don't try to find Cinderella. That's my biggest piece of advice.
Fair enough. All right, good stuff, Christian. We appreciate your insight, as we always do so well here on Brew Sports. Where can people find you to find out more information about the sports world from yourself?
Find me on Twitter, at Chris Heimel. I'll be following all the games starting tomorrow, 5:40 in the first four, Mount St. Mary's against New Orleans out in Dayton.
I'm looking forward to it. Thanks so much, Christian. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care, guys.
All right, there goes Christian Heimel, one of our many talented correspondents here on the Brew Sports Network. Some great insight from him, of course, Teaka, to kind of decipher what to make of the craziness of March Madness. I don't know about you, but I feel like I need to go redo my bracket now. After he's like, I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't do that. Don't look for the Cinderella. And I'm like,
I was like, oh.
Well, and I was going to ask you, though, too. I mean, what are some of the things that you have in your bracket? And you don't have to share, obviously, your entire bracket, but I'm curious if you can give us a little bit of an insight of what Teaka's bracket looks like.
Oh, gosh. Well, I did do it this morning. However, I forgot like half the ones I have Duke winning.
You do?
I do.
Okay. That's interesting. Spoiler alert. Duke wins.
It took me like 10 minutes to choose who I wanted to take it, but I ultimately chose Duke.
That's interesting.
What about yours?
And of course, as he's sitting there, as Christian's sitting there talking about the players and the schedules and everything, and he's like, Michigan would be a terrible pick because they have the hardest schedule. I'm like, absolutely. In the back of my mind, I'm like, that's who I picked.
Yep.
So I have Michigan beating Gonzaga in the national championship. I have Michigan, UNC on one side of the Final Four, and then I have Virginia and Gonzaga on the other side. Some people are going to yell at me. Some people. My bracket is always a mixture of logic and a little bit of homerism and a little bit of fun. Because, obviously I'm trying to win the bracket challenge, of course, that we are doing here at Brew Sports, which you can sign up for as well, too, in the comment sections below here. But at the same time, it's always fun to pick the stories. I love to pick the stories. Like, what would happen if, as I have it in mind, what happens if Marquette makes it to the Elite Eight? Like, nobody's going to see that happening. Sure, it would take a lot. They would have to beat South Carolina. They'd have to beat Duke. They'd have to beat SMU. I get it. I understand the realistic nature of that. And then, anything can happen, of course. Every single team could go and win completely opposite of what I already have, and I would be okay with that. Because, obviously, it's just a game. But at the same time,
but you want to win.
I do want to win. I do want to win. I'd be going to be really mad as soon as my bracket continues to get just torn up and thrown out the window, of course.
It's a little disappointing.
there's going to be that one, and that's the one thing I think people forget about is there is always that one upset that just completely riddles 98.6% of all the brackets within the first 5 hours of March Madness starting, and people wow,
everyone's tweeting, crap.
Exactly, brackets trash.
There goes
burn
mine.
it. Yep, exactly.
There goes my chance.
Let's see. A couple of comments here. Aaron says, I don't think any Wisconsin teams are headed to the Sweet 16. Well, there we go. Corey says, I love March. I know it's the third month of the year. It's very nice. Not too hot. Not too. Oh, March Madness. I'm sorry, not the month as a whole. Kurt says, again with the earthy tones. He's making fun of me with my sweater. Apparently, he's like, I guess this is what the Brew Sports team wears when it snows. It does. We try to harness the summerness. I should have worn a yellow shirt or something. I don't know. Maybe I'll just wear my swimsuit next time. Just be topless. Jeff says, I know someone who chooses their teams based on their team color. What's your favorite color? My favorite color is blue. And yeah, I guess there's blue in Michigan. Go Big Blue, I guess. I don't know. I didn't pick based off of that. I looked at all of the breakdowns. Because you've got the little circle with the eye there that you can get the information, and I walked through all of that, and I picked a couple of my upsets, and then I just was like, yeah, this is what I feel. And I just have this gut feeling after the plane crash, after everything, not plane crash, but everything that's gone on with Michigan the last week and a half, that there's something weird going on with the Wolverines. Something brewing in the state of Michigan, even though I hate Michigan overall. I don't know. Corey thinks that it's going to be fun to watch my bracket. Yeah, I know. Corey, I want to see your bracket as well, too, okay? So bring it on, okay? People are making fun of my brackets, but I don't see everybody dropping who they think is going to win yet. So
they can't talk.
Exactly. She's got Duke. I've got Michigan. My wife chose Duke as well, too, so maybe it's something to say for
Maybe
for
we're
that.
gonna be winner chicken dinners.
I know. I'll have to end up making both of you dinner or something. Being like, well, you both picked it right. I don't know what's going on. I have Duke losing in the second round to Marquette. So we'll see.
Wow.
We'll see. Like I said, just trying to
Very
ruffle some
different.
feathers, get the people talking. Aaron says he's got Arizona winning in Arizona because the Final Four is in Phoenix this year. Hometown team. I can see that. Arizona's a fantastic team. I have nothing against Arizona. I have them going all the way to the Elite Eight, and then they lose to Gonzaga ultimately. So I think Arizona's going to do really well this year. I truly do. We'll have to see. Comment below with your picks. Obviously, join our bracket challenge as well too, and register for free to win $100 first place, and Brew Sports T-shirts in second and third place as well too. Compete against me and Teaka and
T-shirts
Tanner.
are my favorite color.
Jamie, T-shirts are your favorite color?
The Brew Sports one.
Oh,
like
I was like,
gray.
that's a very vague statement. I'm like, I have a
The
white
Brew Sports
T-shirt on. I
T-shirts
was
are
like,
awesome.
what do you? They are. I love them.
Charcoal gray color.
It is. I
Isn't
think
it?
it's
That's
really
kinda
sharp.
what it is, yeah.
Really, really, really well done. All right, Teaka, some funny yet interesting things. We always like to share some of our very best videos of the week or weekend sometimes. I know it's already a Monday, but some funny things happening at the tail end of last week. Something fun happening today, and something, of course, happening over the weekend as well, too, that have people, fired up, basically. One's a baseball one, one's a softball one, one's a biking one. I don't know. Do you have a preference of where you want to start?
Let's go softball.
Softball. So I like to think I understand the concept of what somebody is either safe or somebody is out.
Me too. Yeah.
It's if you're on the base before the ball gets to the player at the base, you're safe.
You're safe.
Makes sense. If you're not, you're out. Plain and simple. I'd like to think that you and I could at least umpire a very basic of the basic softball game.
I wonder who is umpiring this one.
Yeah, so we need to show you a video clip. If you haven't seen this yet, there was a controversial call that's sweeping social media right now that people are torn up about because sometimes it is hard to decipher if a player is safe or not at times. So take a look at this and let us know if you think the umpire got the call ultimately right or wrong. Just in case you missed it, let's look at it one more time. Just want to make sure. Say, nice little pitch here, good little hit down the third baseline. So if you missed the tail end of that, the umpire calls her out. I
could have sworn she was safe.
Pretty positive she's safe, in all honesty, and it's caused such
by a lot.
It's caused such a firestorm on social media, and people have been like, "How in the world was this person out?" Because she clearly is there by a good, I don't know, 3 seconds, 4 seconds.
They had to have been daydreaming or something. For that to happen.
And it's weird too because if you look at it, the first base coach is there with her hands out like, "Oh, you're safe," like, "Woo," kind of just reiterating it. And the umpire looks straight at the first base coach and sees the play happen, is like, "You're out." Like, what?
Did the umpire know the player or have some beef with them?
That's what I'm wondering too, honestly.
Is there something else?
I don't understand. Aaron says she was as safe as my Michigan pick. Okay. I see where you're. I see. Okay. You don't need to be coming after me like that, but maybe, I guess. Our next best video of the week comes from South Africa, and people are probably like, well, what does South Africa have to do with anything? Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Teaka, they had some sort of a bike competition, didn't they not? And what was going on basically is, as you see with the Tour de France or other bike races, the bikers bike. However, Mother Nature was having a good old-fashioned laugh and had other ideas.
Yeah, they had to call us off.
So they had to cancel the event. Take a look at why they had to cancel the event. So people are literally getting blown off the streets because they called them 100-kilometer mile-an-hour winds were whipping through Cape Town, basically.
It's almost scary. They're so strong.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You're holding, I know bikes don't weigh that much, but you've got this metal bike on you, basically, that is getting whipped away. You as well, too, because I feel like if you let go of the bike, it's going to, take out a small child who's watching or something. Have you ever been through a tornado or been through any hurricane force winds at all in your lifetime?
No.
It's not fun, honestly.
You have?
As somebody, I lived in Florida for 8 years, got to go through
close.
2 different hurricanes,
Okay.
Hurricane Katrina and Hurricane Wilma as well too. When those both passed through the Naples region where I'm from, it was a little terrifying at times, honestly, just because of the fact that the winds are so strong. Obviously, it's just like what is going on? But of course, my mother, in all of her infinite wisdom, decided to go run out in the middle of a hurricane, just for fun. Just because, why not? Just so we have this great picture of my mom. I don't know where it is, but her like standing out in our front yard, like her hands up, like her hair's like across her face, like you see debris flying in the background, and she just like, woo!
Oh my gosh,
like it was crazy.
That's scary.
Because the eye wall like came right through our neighborhood, and obviously the eye wall, to an extent, is one of the safest but also most dangerous parts of a hurricane as well too. So. It was a little hectic, a little chaotic, but we made it work. I don't mind it.
I remember when I was little, and there were just like thunderstorms happening, and my parents or mom would always like want to go outside and like and now I love it too, like going outside to watch the thunderstorm. It's so cool. But I remember when I was young, I would always get so upset because I'm like, don't go out there, it's dangerous, and like I would get so mad. But it really, now that I'm older, I mean, it is very cool. But I just remember I felt like they were so unsafe going out there to watch it.
You strike me as the type of person that like will sit on a porch swing with a glass of wine and a blanket and just watch a thunderstorm like kind of like roll in, basically. Be like, ooh,
lightning,
this is fun.
Yeah.
I do that too. I totally do. Weather
to an
is
extent. Once it gets pretty nasty,
well,
like, okay,
once your like blanket's getting whipped off, if you're like, time to go inside, like I can't do this anymore. Too funny. All right, people were excited about Tim Tebow, as you know. People are usually overexcited about Tim Tebow, and today, Teaka, he finally did something worthy of good, I guess. If you want to.
First spring training hit.
First spring training hit. The fans loved it.
Go,
Take a
Jimmy.
look.
Oh, there it is! Yeah, baby!
Oh my gosh.
Not many people get a standing ovation at spring training when they get a batting when they make a hit like that.
The fans went wild. You could hear.
You could hear. Yeah, they're like, "Woo, Tebow!" Like I get it. Like great stuff. Go Timmy if you're a Tim Tebow fan. You and I have talked about Tim Tebow a lot on the show before. It seems to be a common occurrence that ties all of Brew Sports together, I feel like. But 1 for 9. I mean, he's gone to the plate 9 times in spring training. He's got 1 total hit. I don't think you read too much into it, honestly. It's not like he's sweeping into the starting role tomorrow for the New York Mets. The starting first baseman or whatever. Probably outfield, I'm guessing, is what he would play. But it's not like you need to worry too much about this or put too much stock in this, I feel like, if you're a Mets fan.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So congratulations, Tim, on that one. Woo, we have, Teaka and I applaud you for doing something, for doing your job. We applaud you, Tim, for doing your job. It's kind of like when Teaka walks in the studio, I applaud her. I'm like, you showed up today. Like, come on.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
Well, maybe. I can start clapping for you if you like. The way you said that, you were just like, well, yeah, you should clap for me.
No.
Like, I'll be like, here I am. Like, come on, Baxter, get it together.
Obviously.
If I need to clap for Teaka, I will. I'll do what I have to. I mean, I try to feel like I make my co-host feel welcome. I'm always like, hey, or like give you a hug, or like, how are you? Like, I care about you.
Yes, you do.
I do what I can, And once Lent is over, I will buy you a bottle of wine for your service. And we will be
celebrate.
So happy and celebrate. Yes, exactly. Oh boy! All right, so Teaka, as we move along here with the program, Tanner jumps in here. He says, "Just outfit my Tim Tebow jersey, or just bought my Tim Tebow jersey." He's like, "I always felt like an outcast." Yeah. Aaron also says, "Maybe if Tebow plays for Michigan, they will win the NCAA tournament." Hey, anything is possible. Okay. I don't know why I'm getting so much flack now for supporting Tim Tebow. Now I'm getting flack for supporting Michigan. People come after me apparently for things.
They love it.
And here I just was a couple of days ago saying nobody ever makes fun of me because Tanner's like, people always make fun of me on our show.
For it.
I guess so.
But
at the same time, I like to make the argument that I don't really feel like I do a whole lot to get made fun of. At the same time, like
people just like picking on you.
Why? What do I do?
Know.
What do I do? If you mean
I don't know why.
I mean, I don't feel like you. I mean, you're a nice person, but I mean at the same time, if you wanted to be. I don't know, nasty is not the right word, but if you wanted to, make fun of me, I feel like what would you make fun of me for?
Oh, I don't like making fun of people. I don't think I could pick something.
Okay, fair enough. Aaron says people don't make fun of me because they don't want me to cry on the air.
Oh, okay.
I get that. I can understand that, I guess. I mean, that's
sensitive.
It's bad TV, I guess. You don't want to see someone sobbing, or maybe it's good TV. I mean, that's why people watch The
Makes
Bachelor.
it awkward.
Does it make it awkward? If I just
Well, I mean, if I started crying, wouldn't you feel awkward? Like,
I'd
just
feel a little
randomly
awkward from you. I'd be like, all right.
I mean, I would feel awkward. Like, I don't know
like,
what
you
to
okay?
do.
Like, you need like a little hug, or like, what do you? I don't know what to do. I don't know. I'm the guy that publicly criticizes baseball and hockey on the network, and I feel like that would be enough for people to just come berate me and be like, you don't care about sports, or like.
Do you like when people pick on you?
No, I'm not. I'm not saying I like when people pick on me. I'm just saying, like, people, I hope they know, can chime in if they want to.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own opinion. Like, it's okay.
Yes.
If it's going to make for better TV, I will accept said criticism. I mean, sometimes the best
Makes
things.
it fun.
Exactly.
Makes it interesting. Keeps it interesting.
Exactly. All right. So the NFL is always a hot topic of conversation, Teaka, as you and I both know. But apparently it's not as fun as people say it is, which is a little strange, according to a former tight end, Jordan Cameron, that he said a couple of days ago, apparently. But what exactly was Jordan Cameron saying? Because I personally am a little confused by this.
Apparently, the guys don't love football.
As in who?
Players,
like just on certain teams?
Players don't love what they do in general.
Really?
Which surprised me. I mean, but then you think about it and you're like, okay, I mean, do you love every aspect of your job?
Not everything. I don't like some of the nitty gritty behind the scenes things that I have to do at times.
Right. So at first I was like, oh my goodness, like how do you do that for a living? How do you not love it? You know, you spend every minute focusing on football. How can you do that without loving it? But then I thought about it and I'm like, well, there's definitely things that, you know, I do that I enjoy, but there's certain aspects of it that you're not going to like.
Yeah, exactly. Like
even dancing growing up, you know,
I was just about to ask,
yeah.
like with dancing, like I'm sure there
Same
were
situation.
things.
I love to dance and I love, you know, putting in the work and getting stronger, but there are definitely days where I was like, I don't want to go to practice. I really don't want to do this today. It's going to be so long. You know, you have those days.
Of course.
I guess, I mean, I get it. It's just so weird. Like
it is. Yeah.
It
raises question marks, obviously, about how the NFL conducts what they do and the way it goes about things. Because how many times has the NFL over the last even decade, had investigations, or some people would say scandals, or you see these players acting out off the field or even on the field as well too, and it starts to raise a lot of red flags about, well, do these guys actually care about what they're doing, or are they purposely trying to cause issues on or off the field to raise awareness to something larger? If enough people continue to talk about the NFL, maybe more people will start to dig into what the NFL actually is and what it really boils down to. And then you hear things like this, and then former players are asked for interviews about the state of the NFL. And then articles like this come out where you say, I just don't like the NFL, or players just aren't happy with what they're doing, which is such a surprising thing to an extent as well, too, because guys are getting paid millions and millions of dollars a year to technically. And I know it's not just 16 days, but some guys, work 16 days a year to an extent. Like, I get it. Go to practice, preseason, all that. But really, when you boil it all down to, people only care about the 16 days of the year that you work, plus the playoffs as well, too, if your team is lucky enough. So if you're really, really lucky, you work 19 days a year. If you go all the way to the Super Bowl and you get a first-round bye, 20 if you don't, whatever. I've never been put in the situation. I don't know. I don't know what it's like. I've never been paid excessive amounts of money to do something I thought I loved, to then realize that I didn't love it.
Yeah. I mean, all in all, you play for a certain reason. I mean, there's many different reasons why. I'm sure some of the guys play football, but you hope that one of the main reasons is because they enjoy it.
You'd like to think so. I mean, and like I said,
at least part of it.
Exactly. And I mean, like even you were saying with dancing as well too. I mean, if you were being paid lucratively to be a professional dancer, do you feel like that would sway you a little bit more, being like, well, I'm sure it can't be that bad, like I'm being paid whatever, $40 million, whatever, or not, whatever, you're getting paid $20 million a year, whatever, kind of a thing. Like if you're being paid that much more money, but then when you really boil it down, you're like, I really hate practice. I really hate traveling. I really only love the performance, kind of a thing. We're like, I really don't like that coach, that she always yells at me and never, agrees with what I'm doing, or thinks I'm always a half count off, or whatever sort of a thing. And I feel like after a while that would continuously start to chip away.
If the bad's going to outweigh the good, then I think
Yes.
that would eventually, make 90% of the time doing it not enjoyable.
It's true. And Jordan Cameron in this article on ESPN says rather, gracefully, I think he says, you're playing physical and you're playing an intense, violent game. You have to gear yourself up for that, but it's hard to gear yourself up if you're thinking about getting hit or what the implications might be.
Yeah. I mean, I always thought, like, growing up, football is insane to me. Like, you got to get concussions all the time. I don't know. I imagined myself playing, and I couldn't even imagine
it. Was a great visual image for a quick second there to see Teaka, like, running around with a big football helmet on, be like,
don't touch me.
Exactly.
I would. I'd be like out in the first second because I'd be hurt probably.
You were a dancer, so maybe you could be a kicker or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Work on your kicks, basically.
Yeah.
Even Cameron here in the article, he continues to go on. He said, some of the best people I have ever met have been football players. He's like, every single guy talks about the locker room and how that's the thing they will miss. It's so true. Some of the most down-to-earth, intelligent human beings are in there. So he says, do you really love football? And he says a lot of guys don't really love it. There's a few guys that love it. Ray Lewis loves football. Peyton Manning, they love it. But a lot of guys don't really love this game. And there are players that will read this who will understand exactly what I'm talking about. So apparently this is a reoccurring massive issue that more people need to continue to focus on, which is sad, honestly, because, so much of, I feel like, what the NFL nowadays is just driven by the media. It's driven by the revenue, the money, everything that goes into it. So I feel like these players, because you hear so many things like, well, would you do it? How many times? And I hear this in broadcasting. A lot of people are like, well, I would do it even if you weren't paying me. That's how much I love it. That's how much passion. Of course, money always helps.
Yeah.
No matter what, of course. But
definitely,
if you truly boil it down and if you don't have a passion for what you're doing, you really shouldn't
be doing it. Yeah.
It makes total sense to me.
It almost seems bad to do it just for the money. It's like, obviously, like, people need money, and that's great money. But if you're really doing it only for that, it's almost like, okay.
And it's obligation, of course, to family and all that fun stuff, of course, as well too. Aaron says football is a great sport, just very tough long term. Totally agree with him on that one. Tanner says we're all about cutting edge technology here, talking about the bottom scroll as well too that we've got going. And yes, if you missed it earlier, our little fancy bottom scroll there on the bottom, both Brew and Tanner jumping on that as well too. I love it. Thank you guys, appreciate that. But yeah, let us know your thoughts about this article from Jordan Cameron talking about the fact that a lot of NFL players really don't love what they're doing, and I'd be curious to know too what some people's price would be.
Yeah.
To say, like, I will work in this job for this price and will do it still no matter what, just because I know I will have A, the money for my family, B, for whatever else, sort of a thing, you don't really strike me as much of a factory worker. But if I said, Teaka, I will pay you $1 million a year to go and pour cement in a factory or whatever, some nitty gritty, just nasty, whatever job.
I would do it.
You would do it for $1 million, wouldn't you? A year. And full health benefits and all that fun stuff. Regardless of what you've studied in college, regardless of your previous experience, you would do it. Now, would it something that you would think you would do for a long time, though? If I said, look, I'll pay you $1 million a year for 3 years. Would you, so you'll get $3 million, obviously, over the course of 3 years doing just the crazy, crappy, cement pouring, nasty, whatever, like it's going to get in your hair, like whatever, like just nasty stuff. Like you would still do it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I might have to reevaluate after a year.
That's not the deal,
but
though. If you're
fine.
signing a 3-year $1 million deal,
I would do it.
Interesting. Yeah, that's
Would you?
I don't know.
I think I would.
I honestly don't know. I get it. I'm all about...
It's only 3 years of your whole life.
It's true.
And to have that amount of money.
That's true. To know
just
the fact
for 3
that
years.
your family's taken care of, that any other bills or whatever you've got are completely taken care of. You've got good health insurance, all that stuff. It's an interesting debate.
That's kind of how I look at it. Sometimes when I don't want to do something, I think, okay, it's only for this amount of time. This amount of time, my whole entire life, I can do it.
True.
That's what I think of. So in this
That's
case,
not a
same
bad
thing.
way to live, honestly. I'm not at all like condemning what you're saying. I just find it very interesting. Bruce says it's crazy how many people aren't happy in their jobs. It's so
Yeah.
true. I know so
People
many
tell
people.
me that all the time. Make sure you do something you love because otherwise
Yes.
the rest of your life's going to be crappy.
And that's my like favorite thing to hear from people. They're always just like, The big thing with a lot of this too is so many people that I know of, they'll come to me and say, "You look like you have the perfect job. That I can't believe you get to talk about sports. You get to drink on the air. You get to talk to awesome people." Like, well, yeah, sure, it is great, and I mean, but those are the people, myself included, that have worked hard in their
Right.
profession to get to where they are. Like,
Yeah.
if people were just handed things, I mean, nobody would want to work for them anymore. I mean, you have to earn your role. You have to earn your success at the same time. I mean, if people just came up to you tomorrow and handed you your dream job, whatever that would be, do you feel like you've worked hard enough to get there?
No, not if it was just handed to you.
Yeah, I'd be like, Teaka, what is? I'm curious. What is your, if you had your pie in the sky job?
I feel like I don't have that one specific thing, but I did get to intern with Make-A-Wish, the
Yeah, I
Make-A-Wish
love Make-A-Wish.
organization last summer, and I really, really liked it. I've always been a huge advocate for volunteering, and it's a nonprofit organization, so it was one that I hadn't worked with very closely in the past, so I was really excited to get that opportunity last summer. And so I think that if that would be a company that I could work in for the rest of my life, I feel like that would be
That's interesting.
awesome
So like if
and rewarding.
somebody came up to you tomorrow and said, "All right, Teaka, whatever, president of Make-A-Wish," or whatever exactly the position would be, you'd be like, would you take it? Be like, "Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, like this is
Yeah.
what I've been waiting for."
Yeah.
Like, so excited. Like,
I feel like there'd be a few different jobs that would get me really excited, but that would definitely be one of them, and I would totally take it up.
it's true. And how many times, Tanner makes a good point, how many times do we have to see people work multiple jobs
Right.
to be happy? Tanner says it's not fun unless you're working 4 jobs. Tanner, you're a special case, okay? So my mother worked, I think, 6 or 7 jobs at one point in time as well, too. So, people do a lot of different things to get their niches, to get their fill of what they love. Aaron wants to know if I love my job. Yes, Aaron, of course I do. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. You know that.
Silly question.
Silly question, but a true, but correct
Good
overall,
question,
though.
yeah.
It is, though. It's an interesting topic and an interesting debate through and through, honestly, that, like I said, a lot of people sometimes take for granted at the end of the day, As we're almost to the end of the show here, so I feel like we would be remiss to not talk about The Bachelor. Today is the season finale of The Bachelor. Raven and
Are you excited?
Vanessa. I am. I'm excited. It's so weird because to track my journey of supporting The Bachelor, I was very anti-Bachelor, wasn't about it, said to hell with Nick, no thank you, go do something else, basically. And I really was. I was like, I hated him on his past seasons. I hated him all over the place. And then sure enough, I start to actually I more so like the girls than I do Nick himself. I mean, sure, I want him to find love, but I want him to find love so he'll just go away. if I'm being totally honest, that's really what it boils down to. But
I feel like he
what do
kept
you
like
feel?
coming back, so
Yes.
it's finally like, okay.
Well,
be
they
done.
did such a good job of billing him as the villain in those first 2 shows. Be like, Nick's in the house, and all the guys don't like him. It's like, get out of here, Nick.
Well,
Like,
and now he's on Dancing with the Stars, right? He's going to be
I
on
think
Dancing
so.
with the Stars.
I think you
so
mentioned that
he's
last
coming
time.
back.
ABC is
Sticking
going to
around,
name
TV.
Nick as the new CEO of the company, basically, because everybody loves him.
Yeah.
Tanner says he's all around special. That's a whole thing. And Jeff says you love your job and your boss, right, Baxter? Absolutely, Jeff. Send me. Absolutely, I love my job all so much. No, I do. I really do. I want to get that out there. So, what is your prediction? Because Raven went home. Raven is the Bachelorette, as we all know. Which is weird.
Rachel.
Not Rachel.
Rachel.
Raven,
Those
Rachel.
are names.
So confusing. So many R names.
Yep. I think Vanessa's going to win.
I hope Vanessa wins.
Do you?
I do. I like Vanessa. I like Vanessa and Nick together. I think that they have good chemistry. I know that there's those family issues, and the fact that she lives in Montreal, I know is a big stink for some folks. But
Yeah. I feel like some people don't think she's going to win just because him and Raven seem like they have a connection and they always have fun together. They never have those, like
True.
him and Vanessa, I think last episode had a very serious talk and they were kind of disagreeing on some things.
They needed to have that talk.
Right. But all in all, I think that they have a deeper connection, which is, I think, what you need. So I think that he's going to go with her, but we will see tonight.
True.
I don't know.
I'm excited about it. Aaron says it's a fairly sad show. Nobody ever ends up truly happy.
Yeah. I feel like every once in a while couples do, but
yeah, I mean, you see those ones that do get
apart.
married, or Juan Pablo season. He just was like, I'd like to keep dating you.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that season.
That was a terrible season.
He's okay.
My wife
He's
does that every
okay.
once in a while. She's like, when I say something, she's like, oh, he's okay. I was like, stop. I was like, come on.
Yeah,
I
didn't
get
like
it.
him.
Yeah, not a big fan of JP.
But Catherine and Sean, they just had they have a kid.
Good
They're
for
really
them.
Cute.
Did you like either Caitlin or Andy at all their seasons, or Ben even when Ben was rolling around?
Yes. I don't like who Ben is with though very much. Like they had their own TV show.
Oh, that's right, they did.
Happily Ever After with a question mark. I think that's what it was called.
True.
And Lauren just kind of seemed like rude.
Lauren needs.
I don't know.
help.
I
Lauren
liked them
needs
until
help.
I liked them until I saw that show, and then I was like, I still think Ben is a sweetheart, and she's just not the right person for him. But anyways, I don't know. I feel like he's putting up with her.
True.
I like Desiree, and I don't remember what her husband's name is. Chris, I think.
Maybe it was Chris. Yeah.
They were on Good Morning America this morning.
Oh, of course they were.
Talking about The Bachelor.
Love it. Well,
yeah.
I'm excited to get your raw reaction tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Like, boom, Vanessa won.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Okay. On Thursday, we were talking about others.
Yes, we were.
And I promised you weren't here on Friday.
You're right.
And I promised you I'd have some for you. Go to a hockey game or a baseball game?
I would rather go to a hockey game. Personally, I think hockey is. I would sit through the entire thing, even though I know hockey can sometimes get long with the extended breaks in the periods. I still think that hockey is much more enjoyable. And it's
cold though.
It is, but I enjoy the cold and that controlled climate personally.
All right.
Getting nice beer, some popcorn, hockey, day.
Next, from the comments, would you rather not play soccer for the next 10 years or not have meatballs for the next 40?
Well, it was National Meatball Day on Thursdays for those that did not remember. I would rather not have meatballs for the next 40 years. I'm Italian 50%, go Sicily, go Italy, all that fun business, Viva Italia. But there's so many other good options out there. It'd be different if it was like you could never have. The better question would have been, would you rather not play soccer for 10 years or would you rather not have pasta for the next 40 years?
Oh, pasta's your thing.
Because I would have chosen no soccer for 10
Really?
years. 100%. I love pasta.
Pasta's pretty good.
You can ask anybody that knows me. I will always take pasta.
I heard it's National Napping Day today, too.
National Napping Day.
Fun fact. Yeah,
I wonder
I saw
you were
that.
late. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. She was on time.
Yeah, fun fact.
Good to know. National
One more would you rather?
Okay, bring it on.
What one do I want to pick?
You can ask me both if you have multiple. It's fine. We
Okay.
have a moment or two here.
Okay. Would you rather have no internet or no cell phone?
Oh, gosh. My inner millennial is like, neither. No internet or no cell phone. Well, if I didn't have the internet, I wouldn't have Bruce Sports.
Ooh.
But if I didn't have a cell phone, I couldn't talk to my family, which is very important to me. I would probably have to say I'd rather not have no internet because I can semi-bypass the internet with data on my phone.
Okay. I was going to say...
You're probably more like no Wi-Fi.
Well, I would say no cell phone because if you have internet, you can still talk to people.
True. You're not wrong. Yeah, that is true. But you can't make... Well,
'Cause
I
I
guess you
thought
can
about
make
this
phone
one.
calls. Of course. I feel like, you put some serious...
Yeah, I was like, what would I...
That's not a bad...
answer?
Because a cell phone, I guess, what is a cell phone when you really break it down?
Right. You can do everything you can do on a cell phone or computer, can't you?
It's
I mean,
true.
you can do like
For the
video
most part, yeah.
calls. So, yeah,
I get that. I can understand that.
no cell phone.
No
All right.
internet for me, no cell phone for you.
One more would you
Did
rather?
you do the hockey baseball one?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I'm throwing it back at you now. Game on.
I would say baseball just because I'd rather go to a baseball game because hockey is cold.
Really?
It'd be
That's your
cold.
only argument against hockey is that it's cold?
I mean, I guess I could like still drink at a hockey game.
You can wear
but-
your express sweater with a turtleneck and drink hot cocoa.
Oh, I suppose. When you put it that way, it
I
sounds
mean,
more
you got to make it
appealing.
sound enjoyable. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
You can bring out the
That's
Ugg
a hard
boots. I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, last one for you.
Okay, game on.
Would you rather play a collegiate sport and be the best athlete at a small school or be the average athlete at a more prestigious school?
Wow.
Yeah.
Best athlete at a small school or average athlete at a big school, so like a D1 school, basically a pristine school.
Yep.
When you say average, is this? Am I at least playing? Like, am I getting the opportunity to still play, or am I more of like a bench
but like
warmer?
you're never in the limelight.
Never in the limelight.
Yeah.
Never the star quarterback or
Yeah.
whatever. Well, I mean,
You're just a part of the team.
I mean, I was a kicker, so I'm used to not being in the limelight. So I really liked my small school experience, honestly, by going to WLC here in Milwaukee. So I honestly would be. I don't know, actually.
Yeah,
I think I would almost. I think I would prefer to be a good athlete at a smaller school.
I think I would prefer to be an average athlete at. Because then there's room for growth. Like you're not.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, there always is, but if you're average, that gives you kind of motivation to keep
You're right.
Better.
Yeah.
But if you're like the best, then like that's great and that's fun. But I feel like you're constantly trying to like help your teammates and get your teammates to your level.
That's true. Aaron says he'd rather be an average athlete. Keeps the head from getting bigger or getting big.
That's another good reason.
That's true. Tanner says hockey's cold. Boo. Apparently it is. It's not that cold. Just dress up, Tanner. Don't paint your chest. Just dress up. Come on, put clothes on.
God, Tanner.
Seriously.
Heard you didn't have pants on today.
Yeah, I was pantless Monday. If you hadn't heard. I don't know. I don't know what happens on that side of the desk. I wear pants on my side of the desk. For those that were wondering, see, there's pants.
It's not a this side of the desk thing. That's just a Tanner thing.
It might be. I don't know. I mean,
Unless
Jamie's worn pants so far, to my knowledge, as well.
You'll have to ask her tomorrow morning.
But I mean, you have to understand from my vantage point. Like, I've got my laptop that basically blocks anything from here down, so I have no idea what's going on, and it would be weird for me to be like mid-show as well.
Well,
too.
you did today.
Did
at
I?
halftime to look.
Oh, maybe I did.
Weren't you looking at his pants?
I think I was looking at his pants. Oh, yeah, I would, because I asked him if he was wearing jeans today, because we were matching, because we had our earthy tone sweaters on.
I was watching.
I love it. Well, I think it's about that time when we wrap things up here, Teaka, because someone's got to brave the snow.
Celebrate National Napping Day.
National Napping Day.
For that.
Go nap before The Bachelor. Enjoy the sports that take place on a Monday. Get ready for all the craziness, of course, with March Madness as well, too. If you haven't filled out your bracket, it's in the comment section below. You can sign up for the Brews Sports Bracket Challenge. Just go in the comment section here below. Go sign up. Play for free. $100 first prize. Brews Sports T-shirts. If somebody gets a perfect bracket, I feel like we will fly out to your house and do a live show from your living room.
That'd be awesome.
Only if you live in a warm climate.
Only
if you live in like California, Arizona, or Florida, basically. Otherwise, we're not interested. We don't care. No, we do care about you.
You don't count.
But you don't count, though. It's like,
we get enough of that here.
Exactly. It's snowing outside. I have to go unbury my car now, basically, so I can drive home. So, closing thoughts from you, Teaka, about The Bachelor, about life, anything for the show today?
No, I'm just really excited to watch The Bachelor.
Game
Without
on.
wine, unfortunately. Sad.
Can you just like
still exciting?
Can you just like have grape juice and pretend?
I could, but
sparkling grape juice.
I could.
Maybe.
There's
I know
an
it's
idea.
not the same thing.
Or beer in a wine glass.
Beer in a wine glass.
That works
it's a
too.
new innovation.
You gave me a good idea.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Sangria.
That's tasty.
That's.
Oh, that's wine.
I guess so.
No, I can't have that. Naughty.
We'll have to Google if sangria is officially wine. I think it is.
It is.
I'm pretty sure it is. All right. She's Teaka Griesbach. You can follow her on Twitter at Teeks_7. You can follow me at Baxter Colburn. Follow Brew Sports on all forms of social media at Brew Sportsnet on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Use the hashtag Brew Sports as well, too, to interact with us all day, every day. Go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you didn't know, all the Brew Sports shows are actually available on iTunes as well, too, in podcast form. Go and check those out and take us on the go with you as well, too. And, of course, most importantly, don't forget to tell your friends about Brew Sports as well, too. So special thanks to everybody that was commenting today as well, too. That was firing us up. Special thanks to Christian Heimel as well for his insight into the NCAA tournament as well, too, or however the kids say it nowadays. The NCAA tournament. All right, she's Teaka. I'm Baxter. We'll see you guys here back again for another edition of Happy Hour tomorrow at 5 Eastern, 4 Central. But don't forget to tune in first to the Morning Brew live at 7 a.m. Central Time, live right here on Brew Sports. Enjoy your Mondays. Stay warm wherever you are and stay safe. And we'll see you guys again tomorrow on Brew Sports.